The year was 1914. World War I was raging in Europe. Back on the home front, members of the American Veterans of Foreign Wars merged with the National Society of the Army of the Philippines to form the Veterans of Foreign Wars. These two parent organizations had spearheaded the rights of U.S. military veterans who in the past were left to their own devices if wounded or left infirm as a result of their service. Veterans by the hundreds of thousands were returning home to the feeling of a camaraderie led to create a united organization dedicated to veterans, focused on fighting for their rights for services rendered. From the national organization of newly formed Veterans of Foreign Wars sprang local chapters. Sacramento's Lieutenant Lansdale Post 67 was chartered in 1916 and invited potential members from Stockton to join. The idea of Stockton chapters was explored and was chartered on August 11, 1917. 14 members signed this original charter.
You 14 men are the first county charter members to form their post. This great honor you should cherish and respect. There are a lot more waiting to be asked to join.
The reason for the two charter dates was their very first meeting was held August 11th, 1917. It was voted on and approved on their floor that they would hold their charter open until they had 52 members after the first of the year in 1918.
Over the next 5 months, these members worked very hard recruiting new members until the goal of 52 was reached. The official charter date celebrated today is February 2nd, 1918.
We officers and enlisted men and honorably discharged officers and enlisted men of the Army, Navy, and Marine Corps of the United States of America do unite to establish a permanent organization which shall be known as Luneta Post Number 52.
In 1925, Luneta VFW Post 52 moved to its new home, the Stockton Civic Auditorium.
It was built specifically to memorialize veterans from World War I and veterans prior to World War I. And anyone who comes to the Civic Auditorium should look at the very top of the building before they enter. And there they will see, in essence, plaques depicting each war that had occurred prior to the dedication of this building. And you enter into the lobby, you will also find World War I plaques at each end of the lobby, of the main lobby to the Civic Auditorium. These plaques have the names of all the Stockton residents who died in World War I, and also, and the other plaque is all those that died from San Joaquin County.
If these walls and hall could speak, they would reflect the many memories of members.
My first memories of VFW, I was probably 5 or 6 years old. I grew up down here in the VFW hall. That's when they had the big round card tables in there, and they had games for us kids to play, you know. The bartender would bring all the games out and put. And back in those days, they had slot machines, and they let us kids play the penny machine.
When my father used to take me to the wrestling matches at the Civic Auditorium, I used to ask him, how come we never go into that corner place? And he says, oh, that's for soldiers. And so I used to look in the doors.
In the 1920s and 30s, Luneta VFW was finally organized. Fathers brought their families down to the meetings and children played together in the bar and other rooms. A national chapter of VFW Auxiliary was formed in 1914 and Stockton followed suit with their own auxiliary in 1926. Through the years, Luneta VFW events figured prominently in the community. As part of the national organization, Luneta VFW took pride in supporting its mission.
Current legislation that the Post is backing, first is Senate Bill S-2304. They're going to trying to stop bad refinance options for veterans. And what they're going to be doing is they're going to be looking at a tangible net benefit for the veterans to try to help them not have to worry about scammers or bad loan choices. And this is for veterans protection. Another set that we're supporting is the fact that DoD, Department of Defense, and Veterans Affairs have come together and have started a website. This website is to help upgrade and change discharges. Back when the post 9/11 vets were coming back and they were having health issues, they were getting them to get out on a general discharge and trying to say that they had these medical issues prior to going into service, which was not helping them with their claims or allowing them to have veterans benefits at the VA. They've partnered to try to help them get those discharges upgraded. So they won't have to necessarily go to a veteran county service office or go down to the VA. They can do it in the comfort of their own home on the website.
With the advent of World War II, membership grew as soldiers returned home, seeking a place where they could meet and talk. To this day, Luneta continues to be a safe haven for all veterans of all eras.
I started out in the Merchant Marine in 1946, right after, the war was over with, but I went in when I was 16 years old, and my first ship was a Liberty ship.
And my father was in the service, and my grandfather was in the First World War, and then I have great-great-grandfather was in the Civil War, so I felt obligated that I had to go in and serve my country.
I was in the United States Navy from 1962 to 1966.
I was in the Air Force, and I joined in 1965, got out in 69.
I was in the Army. I got enlisted at 1969, and I got ETA 1971, November.
I joined the Army. I went in 1966 to 1968.
I got drafted in the military service in 1968. I was in Vietnam. I was an Army veteran. My MOS was 11 Bravo. I was in the infantry.
Moved to Stockton, and then I heard about the VFW here, and I figured, well, now's a good time to join.
And one of the owners was behind the bar there. Like I said, been coming about a year. And he says, "Tom, were you in Vietnam?" I said, "Yeah." He slapped an application on the bar and said, "Fill that out." Okay. I gave it back. I never gave them any money. And all of a sudden I was in the post.
I got out in 1966. And I joined the VFW in 1969. My father-in-law belonged. And when I moved back east for a while, then when I came back out here in 69, my wife and I moved in with him. And he said, "Come on, John, you're going to the meeting with me." So we came to the post, he signed me up, and I've been a member ever since.
When I got out after my second tour, I didn't know anything about the VFW. I didn't even know this place existed. It wasn't until my dad passed away in '97 when I went to Centennial for his funeral and saw the VFW down there performing the military honors that I got involved with the American Legion and the VFW for the sole purpose of being on their honor guard, doing what they were doing.
As an employee of the city of Stockton, I was assigned to the Civic Auditorium in 1996. And of course, at that time, I became familiar with the whole operation of the building, which included the VFW.
And I was playing some baseball after the service, and a fellow that followed our baseball team was a member of the VFW. He found out I was a veteran and asked me, why I didn't join. Well, I didn't really know that much about it at the time. And he kind of explained it to me, and I thought, it's a good thing because it's mainly there to help other veterans. And I thought it was a good thing, and so then I joined. And I've been a member, almost 30 years now.
When we came home out of the service, we weren't allowed to wear our uniforms because we were baby boomers. We went there to kill people, whatever. That's what they thought of us as Vietnam veterans. So I came here. I stood home for a number of years before I can comp what happened in Vietnam. And then I got in. I heard about this place through a friend. It just came in the door, and a guy named Lou Gimmo was here. He was a bartender. He said, "Son," he said, why don't you come?" He goes, "I'll pay for your first year." Back then the dues were cheap. He goes, I'll pay for half of your life membership here. So that's how I became a life member in 2001.
I was in the United States Marine Corps. I served from 2005 to 2013. I just joined this last Saturday, so 2 days ago.
For men who gave and lost comrades who gave all, giving is second nature. These men continue to serve and to give to all.
The core values of the VFW, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, is veterans helping veterans who can't help themselves. That's what our organization is. That's what we do.
You learn this in the military, and you keep it up in civilian life too. And that's what we do here. We try to help everybody we can. We find vets that live on the street. We find them a place to live. We furnish their apartment for them. They have a certain period of time to live there, but still they're off the street, especially in the winter.
I feel like I get more back by giving than taking.
The reason why veterans give back, especially to their community, is we were very proud of our service. And so we want to come back and we want to educate the community on the reasons for our service, and we want to educate our youth on Americanism and those types of things so they don't forget, so they learn the sacrifices that we did.
It's a place for veterans to come to relax, bring their families. It's like a private club, so we could relax and that we know that somebody knows what we went through.
Camaraderie with the other veterans and stuff like that. You find out, their situations, our situations, and sometimes we've run into the younger ones that have come back, like from Iraq and stuff like that, they really don't know where to go. And through the veterans, I've been able to help a few that I know of. I've never really myself needed, thank God I haven't needed any help, but I'm always there to help if it's necessary.
For this post, the Centennial celebration, it's a big honor.
My God, how many other organizations have gone that long to be here, what we've done here? If you actually look at everything in this place, and you look at, this is the VFW, and if you look outside, what's that say outside? This building was built by our ancestors. All parts of the military services, all branches. This is our home.
Our biggest issues right now is membership. Our membership is dying off because the World War II veterans are dying off in an astounding rate.
The Korean War veterans, they're fading out real quick.
We know that there's always going to be wars and conflicts, and there's always going to be call for young men and women to go into the service and defend this country. So if they do, they should be respected for what they've done. So, and the VFW does that.
We have to encourage the younger ones to start coming. If they want to make the changes, that's fine, whatever changes they want to make, because it's going to be their post. It will no longer be ours because we're going to be the ones that we're going to need the help. So yeah, I'd encourage the younger ones to come along, do their own thing. That's what the post is for. The post isn't set that you do one thing and one thing only. You do what's best for your post.
I've been a proud member of Luneta Post since 2003. And that was also, I believe, the year that I became post commander. I've made a lot of wonderful friends here. Unfortunately, I've lost a couple of good friends too. As far as, unfortunately, they are a little bit older than me. But I love this post. You come in here, you've got positive energy, people are friendly, and we try to make everyone feel at home. And this post has been around for 100 years. And we have to be doing something right, or else we wouldn't have made it this long. And as long as we keep doing what we've been doing, I can't see why we can't make it another 100.